is to talk about something that's already come out today. For context, you go back to yesterday. Emiliano Teodo he strikes out the side to get a save in the game that the Rangers won against the Reds yesterday. And you know, the social media platforms go nuts. Here's your new closer. He's the closer. He's got to be the closer. You kidding me? He's got 2 saves. Oh, my gosh. He's got to be the closer. And sounds like Boch just kind of said, all right, everybody, let's just tap the brakes.
Yeah, I think he finally got tired of the line of questioning. And it was, talking about guys who have been exciting this spring and maybe um, are forcing their way onto the roster, people to change their mind. And I had done on DLLS eight stars of camp so far. I didn't put Mark Church in there because Mark Church is kind of a known quantity at this point, but he's having a great spring. But anyway, conversation with this morning was Mark Church and Emiliano Teodo. Can they make the team? They're been very impressive when they've pitched. I know Church gave up a couple runs his first time out, but he's been great since then. Um, and finally, Bruce was kind of going through some of the things that how they're handling these guys and all this stuff. And Teodo's not going to pitch for 3 more days, so it's like, okay, I finally said a guy who is pitching every 4th day can't make the major league roster. And Boch said, all right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Teodo's a long shot. All right, so it makes perfect sense. Yes, he's got great stuff. If you look at the stuff in a vacuum, he could be a closer. Okay, but that's it. The command is still, the Rangers aren't sure about the command. This guy has probably never pitched in back-to-back games in his career, let alone under pressure circumstances with 40,000 people in the stands. And there's another thing. The stuff he showed yesterday, 100-mile-per-hour fastball and a really good slider. Imagine that over 7 innings at a time. The Rangers still believe that Emiliano Teodo can start. So they want to let that play out. And then, he's young. They don't, he only threw 90 innings last year, let's say. They don't want to go out there and suddenly have him throw on back-to-back days or 3 days in a row. It's just not feasible. Now, could he become a closer or a big bullpen piece later in the season? 100% he could. He's on the 40-man roster, which is a huge advantage, meaning he can be optioned back and forth between the majors and the minors. But they're going to let this play out. Now, Bruce left open the possibilities that anything can happen, but it would take a series of injuries, I think, or Teodo, um, kind of coming into a game late this spring against, let's say, the Dodgers and going through the heart of their order and faring well. Right now in games when he's been pitching, he's been facing guys that he's either faced before at the same level or guys who are even below his level. So he should be dominating these guys, and he is. So, it's kind of a tap the brake moment here. Um, let's not let this one get out of control. Emiliano Teodo, a long shot to make the Rangers opening day roster.
Yeah, and it's a guy with an enormously bright future with the Rangers. And the reality is, Jeff, it's much more difficult, as the Rangers have proven over 54 years now. It's difficult to groom, to create starting pitchers, right? And it's not easy to get a closer either, but it's much more difficult to develop a starting pitcher than it is to find somebody who can close for you.
Well, I mean, you don't need to tell anybody that besides the Rangers. They get it. They have had their fair share of problems developing starting pitchers, and yeah, that you're 100% right. When you look at these great successful stories of past teams, you can go back to the 2000 team, the great Moneyball A's. Everybody's like, "Oh, Billy Beane, what a genius!" Yeah, he had Tim Hudson, Barry Zito and Mark Mulder. Yeah, anybody can look good with that trio.
Yeah.
And then you can go and look at the Giants teams that Bruce Bochy won World Series with: Tim Lincecum and Matt Cain and Madison Bumgarner, homegrown dudes. So teams that can do that have a distinct advantage. The 2015 Mets, who lost the World Series, Jacob deGrom and Noah Syndergaard. God, that guy that blew out, I can't think of his name, who was the best one of them all. They had homegrown starting pitchers, and the future looked very, very good for them.
We all silly like the mayor.